You ready?
I've been ready.
All right. Unethical behavior of the caretaker towards tenants. I'm up to here with the caretaker at Palm Springs Cosmos City. When I first got here, he asked me out and I told him no. As soon as he saw the guy friends I have made in the complex, he started to be ugly and unprofessional. He did the same thing with one of our lady friends, who he also asked out and she rejected him. Now he has a personal vendetta with all of us. He doesn't follow house rules and gives us ridiculous amounts of penalties for things we did not do. When we ask him for the date of the event, he says we broke the rules. He doesn't respond because his allegations do not exist. He's not managing this complex with the level of professionalism we would expect. He even came straight to my face and told me that he can fine me 10K if he wanted, and if I decided to take him to court, he would win the case. He personally told us that we cannot touch him, even if we tried. I personally don't have any peace of mind, and my life is being threatened on a daily basis. When I ask higher management for assistance, they just blue tick me. Even the security company they hired are crooks themselves. They steal from us, smoke something, and drink on duty. We have proof of all this. He goes by the name of Spare. Please get back to me as soon as possible. We are not safe here and are treated like they are doing us a favor. Thank you, Charmaine.
I wonder if Charmaine was attended to with her complaint.
Hello, everybody. We're back on YouTube after a very long time. My name is Ga-Pholushe, and if you're joining us for the first time, Ga-Pholushe. Beside me is my lovely wife, my partner in crime.
Ga-Pholushe.
So we started this channel 6 months ago, intending to get going, be consistent, share our love journey with the world. Whether you're single, married, or in a committed relationship looking to get married, we wanted to share our journey with you, our experiences, and give advice where we believe we know better. But things went sideways. Fortunately, not between us, but because our landlord decided to play nasty and illegally disconnect our electricity. So as you see us back on your screens, we've had our lights back for 2 days now. What's it been like having no electricity, babe?
Shush. Yeah, no. It was heartbreaking, draining, because everything that we do, our life is actually based on having access to electricity. Everything that we do in the home.
Yeah,
From
like
work.
modern life for everyone in general, yeah.
Exactly, yes. So being digital creators, it's like they cut off your tongue.
So, as the video title suggests, there might be a possibility of something in this video being picked up, being misrepresented by someone, all in an attempt to get us arrested. How? Because the landlord in question, Mafadi Property Management, the complaint that I read earlier is one of many thousands of complaints out there on the internet. Many people are warning others to please stay away from Mafadi Property Management. As you can see in this tweet on your screen right now, it's available. you'll find a link directly to it in the description. We unfortunately came into a situation where we had to complain about a water billing issue, having complained over several years about many other unprofessional things like noise, like the lack of consistent hot water
supply.
until they sorted it out at some point. Congratulations to them for that.
Yes.
But then when it comes to the water being built, there was a very serious issue. It affected a lot of people. It got a lot of people angry. And we wondered, why is nobody doing anything? When you go on Hello Peter, you find so many complaints. When you go on Twitter, people are even asking Fikile Mbalula from like 5, 6, 7 years ago to say, why isn't there anybody intervening on this company called Mafadi Property Management? So, seeing that, we decided, let's be the voice. Let's speak for ourselves, our home.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't make sense to receive a statement with an additional charge that cannot be explained, statements with wrong calculations, you know, water billing that just doesn't make sense. So
Exactly.
we decided to write a letter to them to notify them back in January that we have come across this issue and we'd seriously like to have your attention regarding it. If possible, could we have the owner of the building? Because we are suspicious that maybe what is happening without the owner's knowledge. Maybe it's employees just doing their thing. So I wanted to blow the whistle and report this to the landlord, the
which
owner
is
of the
precisely
building.
the owner of the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when we realized that we were being met with resistance, having written a formal letter, an affidavit actually, written at the police station, stamped and signed, delivered to them, we were not taken seriously at all. But fast forward, as we continue to pursue our issue, they switched off our electricity, they deactivated our fingerprints.
Yeah. So where we live, you have to access using boom gates with a fingerprint. So they deactivated our fingerprints, so we cannot easily access the boom gates. We have to wait for someone who's coming into the building so that they can help us in the building where we live,
Yeah,
where we are tenants.
yeah. So we have to ask for people to let us in. And that's
It's quite
just,
often strange. Sometimes someone would ask you, "Do you live here?"
yeah, it's a very strange thing. And yeah, man, it's been a long line of insane things happening. But before we get to the court stuff and the interdict that the court has granted Mafadi against us to not say certain things, when I'm talking, I want to thank you for bearing with this situation. You know, it's not easy. I know it's not easy. It's not easy for me either, you know. I edit, I shoot, I am always in front of the PC. My life revolves around research and being constantly plugged in. Baby, I think I'm skinny. I lost weight. Did I? And being constantly informed. But hey, things have been tough. But for you, baby, I mean, at some point, I remember there were so many dirty clothes, like a month and a half worth of laundry, you know, and we were starting to stink, nyana. Yo,
Can you imagine that?
imagine that.
Because we have a little baby and diaparo tsa hae di tlala di tšhila ka pela, so sometimes I would literally have to do laundry each and every after 5 days or 7 days. I would be doing laundry
By hand.
and these people are still expecting you to pay them their rent.
So, what happened then is this. Noticing that there were so many complaints online, and it didn't seem that there were any people who had taken it upon themselves to really pursue this matter to a level where a solution can be had, we decided to form first an association within the building with a number of tenants, right? For us to have a voice. And then we started a Facebook page and a website because we felt that it's in the public interest for people to know what is happening, because it's just a lot of horrors, man.
Yeah, if you to see the complaint on Hello Peter about this company, you'd be heartbroken.
It's heartbreaking, it's disgusting, it's
Shocking.
shameful, it's inhumane, you see. So we decided to form an association and bring awareness about the issues that we are facing, and we're seeing a lot of other people who have faced the same issues over many years. Then the company decided to start taking us seriously, and they decided now to run to the court to make claims or to bring claims before the court saying that we were defaming the name of the company, the brand. We were harassing staff. That's what they claimed in the papers.
Yeah.
They said that we invite people not to pay their rent. They showed no one who had been harassed.
Absolutely no one.
They showed, and they didn't open a case of harassment
Against us.
But they brought claims in court that we harass
harassing people,
employees.
So therefore we have a conduct of abuse.
Yeah, so the claim was that we would damage the image of the company if the court did not grant an urgent application to have us remove those posts and to prevent us from speaking on several listed platforms. So we went to the court. On this urgent application, when I'm talking, here's what an urgent application does. If I bring papers against you, it forces you to reply very quickly. Quickly in a way that only highly paid attorneys can reply.
Yes.
So Mafadi spends however long to put together 140 pages. And they bring this to the court to ask the court to listen. You get an email saying that such and such has been brought against you. White people show up here at the door. pasting letters on the door, sticking them in the handle. And now the clock is ticking. You have to reply almost paragraph by paragraph because that's the format of an answering affidavit. So what they bring against you is a founding affidavit that says, we feel that you have said this and this about us. They go through whatever they say, and you are supposed to go through what they say in response as well. So the clock is ticking. Our electricity is off. You see, you have to type without a computer. You have to print without electricity. You have to scan documents, submit your own evidence in response to what they say about you without electricity. So the first day we arrive in court, the Tuesday, we arrive naked without any answers in front of the judge.
Yes.
You see? And so the judge says, having nothing in front of me, I have to grant this. And we not really knowing the processes in the court, etc. We are normal everyday people.
Yeah, because we also didn't have a lawyer.
Yeah, we didn't have a lawyer too. And I'll tell you about that. Tell you why. So we arrive on the day, né? And with nothing in front of the judge, we are given an opportunity for the following day to put together some answers.
Actually given 2 days.
A day, baby.
Yeah, yes, it was a day. Yes, you're correct.
It was a single day.
It was a single day.
We went to court on Tuesday,
and they say come
arrived
back on
with
Thursday.
Nothing. And then on Wednesday, we had to now reply to 140 pages. And Thursday morning,
on Thursday,
we had to be standing in court with that, having submitted it by 5 the previous day.
The previous day, yes.
So how did we manage to get to do that? There was a very smart, very kind advocate in the court who was there attending to a matter, a matter that he had come for. And noticing that we were unrepresented and we were pretty much being kicked around, being offered alternatives that were not alternatives.
With legal terms that we didn't understand.
Yeah, being spoken to with terms that we could not understand. He gave us guidance and offered us with kindness, so much kindness, to come to his chambers in Sancton. He provided us a boardroom. He provided us Wi-Fi, provided us electricity, provided us printing, provided us advice. He provided us water and sandwiches on speed dial. And so we arrived in Sancton the following day and we were grinding. I remember you another day. You were my assistant so much.
Yes.
In an emergency, you pushed with me. And I appreciate you so much. So, after wrapping up the day, submitting what we could by 5, we showed up in court the following day and I stood and represented myself.
Not just yourself, but us.
I represented us. In fact, here's a detail that we left out. Because you were on a video that we shot
For the association.
for the association. We shot an awareness video in which we notify people
About the possibility of what could be happening
yes,
here in Mafadi.
for people to be alert about what we are seeing happening. Yeah. We're being careful with our words, okay? Like we say, there's an interdict. It prevents us from saying certain things. It is not absolutely clear what we can say and what we cannot absolutely say, but we know that we are not completely limited from speaking. We're still human beings. We're not in prison. We're
Simply practicing our freedom of speech.
We're practicing our freedom of expression, freedom of speech. Parts of our tongue have been cut.
Yes.
Yes. Ne? But having shot this video, you were now listed in the founding affidavit. I get the papers initially brought against us. You were listed as the third respondent.
Yes.
So the papers basically brought the association that we formed, me personally, and you third. I get. So I stood there then and I represented us.
Yes. Not you.
Not me. I thought I did well. I spoke with the truth that I know. I live this situation. You see, for me, it's a lived experience. For Mafadi, there was a representative. So I thought, coming from me who lives this, it would
speak
your
truth, yes.
to the judge, and the judge would hear the truth that we're speaking. But court being court, and the processes being the processes, what Mafadi brought before the court was a portion of the matter
Yes.
that they wanted to be discussed
only, and not the whole story.
And not the whole story. So, in their papers to the court, they don't start out mentioning what it is they are doing, what our grievances are. They just go straight to saying, this is a particular person who's saying particular things about us, and judge, please may you listen to why we are saying, please gag this person so that they don't say that anymore. And when you reply to the court, you can't introduce your own story
in full context.
Your full story is closed out. And that is just how court is. We discovered. Okay, there's nothing that we can do about it. And another technicality, another thing about court. The complaint that I read to the judge as well. I read many other complaints. I placed my story in truth and in full before my Lord there. However, these complaints, and many of them that formed a court to my defense, were thrown out and rejected as hearsay, mabarbar. You see. So, when Mafadi argues that I am defaming their character, that I am harassing their employees, my response in saying this cannot be defamation, because what we are speaking arises from an actual something that is happening. What we are speaking has already actually been spoken. What we are speaking, so many other people are saying already in the public sphere. And here are all of these other people saying it. The court granted Mafadi's application for us to be silenced from mentioning the company on the Facebook page, from mentioning the company in a defamatory way, either on our personal Facebook posts, on Twitter, on WhatsApp statuses, or speaking about them in a derogatory way on podcasts. Also interdicting us from speaking to TV and newspapers. So I, my wife, and the association get to be the only people in South Africa. I don't know if there are others, but seemingly it's the two of us, baby, out of everybody who's able to utilize social media and the available platforms such as Hello Peter to put their complaint out there. Everybody now currently enjoys that freedom. You and I, we don't. The judge says all of these complaints are hearsay. He considers none of them. And so, with no other complaints about Mafadi before him, with the judge seeing nothing that is presented to him, because these were all pretty much thrown out. Our whole argument, its center, was thrown out the window. What happens is the judge views us then as indeed being people whose utterances are harmful to Mafadi. Because I suppose as the judge views the matter and as the judge views Mafadi, he sees a squeaky clean, reputable company that is not deserving of what we are saying. So the application gets granted against us with a pending defamation suit. So this is the first step, they say. Get them to keep quiet.
And then we'll get the defamation suit rolling.
And then we'll get the defamation suit rolling after it's finalized. Whether, I don't know, so if it gets finalized, if we win, we become free to speak again, or if they win, we now suffer further penalties in monies or whatever. I don't know. But they're saying, get them to keep quiet in the meantime while we bring defamation suit against them. And so it has been granted. However, we are still customers. We are still free citizens.
And we're still affected.
And we're still affected. Very much, babe. Very, very much. Our livelihood has been destroyed. A serious amount of momentum that we had in our family, in our life, and in our business
has deteriorated.
Has been greatly disturbed. So, we walk out of there knowing that we can't say certain things, we have to walk on eggshells. We are still allowed to continue with the association. We're still allowed to help other tenants and speak to them. We're just not allowed to post it online. Everyone else can.
Defamatory things.
Everyone else can. Right? So, with us knowing and seeing that, well, there's some room to walk, we're here now
Yes.
doing this video with the room that we have. The room that is still our freedom of speech, our right to cry out,
Our grievances.
and to cry out when we feel pain,
Exactly.
you see. So, we have been off the screens for a long time, and it has been a very difficult time. We have some hearing coming. It's a Gauteng government,
Settlements Department.
Gauteng Human Department of Human Settlement process. We're going to be undergoing that, and in that process, we are hopeful, though we are doubtful. We are hopeful that things will go well, and this time we'll be able to lay out the full matter to be heard properly, in full.
Yes.
Our lights are back on. It's very, very, very overwhelming to realize that, hey, this is where we left off 2.5 months ago, living a normal life, having a PC in the home, being able to, for me, being able to work at night as I usually do, because daytime is not enough when you're doing the kind of work that I'm doing. You have to work during the day and at night. So it's been a very emotional time to drink a cold drink from a fridge again. Hey, wanona pig. And mere this, we've been drinking this warm for several months. We've taken our washing machine to our parents' home,
Back home.
back in Tembisa. And that's where we've been doing our laundry. So we've been taking laundry baskets, getting in the car, driving with the washing machine, to wash at home, and then leaving the washing machine there. Why? Because
We just chose to complain
we just
And
decided
voice
to
out.
complain.
and say we're not going to be silent about this. And now we are suffering the consequences of voicing out your grievances. Just like he read the comment or from this lady on Hello Peter.
It's not funny. It's not okay. It's not well. Something ought to be done about this. There'll be a link in the description. I urge you to click it. Go straight to it. It goes straight to Hello Peter. It's a reputable website. We're hoping that Hello Peter will be able to, in some way if possible, share the direct contact details of the people affected there, so that when we bring our filing affidavit, you see, for whatever reason, but the most probable next step is suing Mafadi for damages to our life, we will need to have the complaints with proper names, proper references of the people who wrote them, possibly even have those people be part of our case.
Yes.
So we're hoping for Hello Peter to help us with that. But for you, viewer out there, our friend, please go look into this company, get to know about it, and let somebody know if you can.
You might save someone.
You might
from
save someone.
a miserable life that we're actually going through right now. It's not funny, guys. It's very unfair. This is where is the stage in your life where you start to see that money can buy everything. Money can rule people's lives.
Yeah.
Simply by saying that, because everything, guys, started off by us requesting a detailed usage of our water. Because we were getting billed ridiculous amounts of water. Living here, we started off paying water from 300 rand to 800 rand to 1,000 rand.
Yeah. High amounts.
High amounts.
Very high amounts across all tenants, right? But anyway, we have been prevented from posting. We are being watched. Our statuses are being monitored, our Facebook posts, our Twitter profiles, Instagram were being constantly monitored by my Fadi and their legal team. So there's very little wiggle room. There's a limitation to what we can say about them. We'd like to speak in full, however, we will reserve that and not rely so much on the harshness and the power and the emphasis that we wish to put out, but we'll simply gently whisper a request, a peaceful one, to you out there to say, you are not prevented from spreading knowledge about what is happening about Mafadi. You have not been interdicted. You freely feeling that you may want to educate and raise awareness, make up your mind to warn someone. Utilize whatever you can to make somebody know that there's something that is not right going on. There's evidence of it online, link it directly to them. Don't add defamatory comments. Just simply spread what is out there and let people know.
And let people know that they shouldn't be afraid of voicing out what is happening in their lives regarding these landlords.
It's very scary requesting people to say that when a baby. Logically,
it's very scary.
It's illogical. We're living in a very illogical situation currently. Something that is so sensible and intuitive as to flash your lights to someone to say, hey,
The same way
there's
when
danger
someone
that
exactly
way.
in the car, you know.
Doing that right now, as we are doing it, and as we are urging others to flash their lights, it's a risky thing.
It's a risky thing.
We have a blade hanging over our heads. People looking for something that we can say so that a sheriff or police can arrive with a warrant saying that we have gone against the order of the court. We have a guillotine standing above us that says, keep quiet because we are going to pursue you for your wrongs. We're not the wrong people here.
they don't suffer any repercussions for their misconduct, but we suffer for voicing out.
Living with stress and starting to feel hopelessness and despair is not something that you can keep quiet with. I'm a strong person, I know it, but there's been instances where I've started feeling like I'm in a hopeless, systemless, reverse country that punishes good and rewards evil. I've entered a mindset where I've started to doubt my moral compass. I've started having regrets about speaking out for people because it has been indeed inserted into my mind.
And not just speaking out for people, but speaking out for your own family, speaking out for the livelihoods of your children.
Yes, speaking for your children has become scary.
Imagine that.
There's a trap on our doorstep that says, hey, watch out when you come out because we just might bring you to court again. And this starts out from complaining.
Simply complaining, requesting a detailed usage of water.
Another detail to mention, Wanapip, ne? Here's something that was my mindset and my understanding all along. I don't view landlords to be Lord or God in any way. A contract between a tenant and a landlord is a contract, just like any other. It's an agreement that says for a certain amount of time, for so much money, for this performance and this performance, you do this, I do that, we will be well. It's a binding agreement that stipulates that. It does not mean that landlords, I think this word lord inside there brings this very scary element that really doesn't belong. When a landlord is doing wrong, it is not God doing wrong. It is a company misbehaving. It's another party on the other side of the contract not upholding what they should, and they should be called out.
Exactly. Same as when an employer wants to dismiss someone and they make the job of that person or the workplace of that employee
Hell.
a hell. Just so they can let you out.
Yeah, so that you can fire yourself, so
Exactly.
you can quit.
You can quit.
It's called constructive dismissal. Yeah, that's when your employer abuses you and makes your life unbearable so that you can leave.
Quit. That doesn't make the employer right to do that act. It does not justify the act because he's an employer or she's an employer.
So, knowing that landlords are not above reproach, we noted a breach in our contract. Okay? Because, yes, the landlord can do wrong in the contract. They are not Lord God perfect. No, it's not. That's not what landlord means. So when your landlord does wrong and they do not honor the
The
contract.
contract. Then breach of the contract, because you both are in a contract.
You both are in a contract, and the contract stipulates the performance or what they should deliver to you in exchange for your money.
For your money. So you deliver services, I pay.
You deliver me 4 walls undisturbed with electricity. In our contract, there's no you robbing me. In our contract, there's no you asking me for additional funds that you're not explaining.
Yes.
So, seeing that our landlord is not behaving in a lordship kind of way, seeing that our landlord is being a rascal in our contract, we decided to withhold rent. And that, baby, withholding payment in any contract is possible. It's possible. And especially to this extent, where you are being given bad treatment.
Continuously being given bad treatment.
Yes.
So as soon as you voice out your grievances, you try to voice out, they become stiff-necked. The mistreatment actually levels up.
Yes.
From one level to another level. From one level to
They
another
get more
level.
aggressive, bruh. They get more aggressive. They get more aggressive. They get more aggressive. As you move up the ladder, you now even meet the COO, who is in the filing affidavit. Won't mention his name, but there wouldn't be a problem with it. That document there is an official document, public record. That guy there, who is the chief operating officer, when you reach somebody so senior and you are hopeful that this guy
Would help the situation.
might just help, you find that he's chief aggressive. Yeah. He's chief of that aggressive line of people that you met on the way up to him. And you start to see, Ria, you are dealing with some serious problems over here. Right? So, that is the detail that we wanted to mention. We wrote them and notified them that you're in breach of our contract, that you're not above reproach, that you have to go back to the performance of our contract, and I will go back to paying you. But instead, as she mentions, the animosity escalates. It goes to a point now where they deactivate our meter, then they reactivate it again, but they now add an arrears charge of 10,000 rands onto our meter.
Imagine, you have
Guys.
to pay a bill, yeah, 10,000 rand.
Yeah. So basically, there's this WAC system here. When you purchase electricity,
You have to firstly pay for your water.
you have to pay for the water. So you can't buy your electricity
Without paying the
without
water.
paying the water. And whilst you have a query with the water and your electricity is running out, it forces you to settle that amount with your query outstanding. Then query afterwards. So now you find yourself with 2 or 3 months of water queries that weren't solved. You just simply moved on with your life because you wanted to buy electricity.
Exactly. And that's what we did the first time. That's what we did. Up until then, we're like, okay, these people are not taking our queries seriously, and we're continuing to pay this amount that is crazy. So let us then withhold the rightful amount of our lease.
So they put 10,000 rand into our meter so that we don't buy electricity. We call them several times. I'll link in the description there a voice recording, you see, of a consultant that we spoke with regarding this 10,000 rand to ask him, how did it end up on the meter? Is it possible to just enter numbers onto people's meters? Because if it's possible to do that, this is kinda a debit order scam. If you can simply type
An amount.
charges demanded and that money goes off either automatically or via duress or the forceful taking, it doesn't really look right. So what is this 10,000 rand about? And you'll hear the voice conversation yourself. These are the shocking things that we've encountered, right? But we, at this current moment, are afraid to speak because there's a guillotine above us. Should you
How? Are you now angry?
no? Sorry, my babe. If you've enjoyed this video, this update of where we've been, now you know where we've been. Subscribe, join us again. We didn't leave you, right? We still love you so much. We are thankful to everyone in the comments so far.
Even those who have been reminding us to come back.
And those reminding us to come back. We're so glad. It's so heartwarming to see all the comments when a baby. You know, it's so heartwarming. We appreciate it so much, and we can't wait to have you back in our lives, participating again. You out there are our friends. We believe that we have enough space remaining still within our rights as free citizens to speak to you.
Speak to you.
So we're just simply speaking to you.
And also pleading to people who have better knowledge on such circumstances or such situations to shed light, to shed legal advice on our situation. Because it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's quite very tricky.
It's very tricky. And before we depart, what is sad, right, about these kind of applications and these frivolous type of requests to the court that are fueled by money, ne? Throwing money at issues. What sucks about them is that, to the best of my knowledge, these lawyers just subscription, double 50 rand a month, 100 rand, 150 a month. I don't know that they are able to respond on matters like these and to represent you in court. I think as far as these subscriptions go that are available, it's them offering you a service where they'll write letters for you, or they'll make phone calls for you, or they'll have somebody to bail you out. I get sure, but wrongful disputes, now I don't know how they handle them. I don't know if they go to court for them, but ne? We had one, we won't mention its name. We're still on it. Very underwhelming and very disappointing to think that indeed you are secure, you have a strong attorney behind you. Kanti, when issues like these show up, you find that the service is not what is actually promised.
Yeah, they tell you that if the case is being attended by the housing tribunal, they can get involved. Yeah, but then when you get, served with such papers, and you lack the legal
muscle.
capacity, or yes, the legal muscle to understand everything, it becomes very overwhelming because we are not rich to just throw money at lawyers to help us out.
Yeah, you don't just get like a serious advocate ready and available to leave everything that day, to sit down on your matter,
That will cost a lot of money.
to consult and reply and represent you the following day. Those are big lawyers who earn a lot of money. And I guess I understand why the subscriptions is about 150 don't really get very far with matters like these. I think Libona, they also have some dodgy wait.
No, baby, now you're going to criticize everything.
Okay, all right. Okay. What I was saying is that how our matter has been handled, calling them and saying, here's my issue, right? One very, very, very sad excuse that we got was that, oh, have you gone to the rental housing tribunal? And the rental housing tribunal, by the way, is the police for landlords. When landlords are misbehaving, this is something that we noticed. It seems like it's the law, it's how things work.
54.
When landlords misbehave, you can only report them to the rental housing tribunal. You can't call the police to directly intervene. Even if there's fraud and criminal, illegal things happening, the police will tell you that we can't enter into that because there's a contract. And that's how forex scammers also keep the police away from themselves. They actually take advantage of you with papers. These are forex scammers.
No, I understand that these are
I'm not
forex
talking
scammers.
about these guys. I get.
No, but then I don't want us to divert a lot, because one, it's 55 minutes now.
I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you. All I was just saying, baby, to wrap up, yeah, is the lawyer aspect. We have one. It was useless, though.
Yeah, I think it was useless because the amount that you pay, if you were to really use logic behind it, you'd understand that when you see the amount of work that we had to do, even ourselves, for the answering of a affidavit,
Yeah.
no
business in his right mind would offer you that service
that kind
for
of
that
service
cheap.
for that cheap. So you'd have to be probably on the platinum or have your own private attorney to attend to such matters.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that we are not able to afford such.
But we learn as we go. If there's some among you who know the law, who are willing to advise us, drop us some comments. We've also made contact with Lawyers for Human Rights. We are going to be opening a case with the Hawks. We are going to approach the Office of the Public Protector.
Let's not disclose that.
All right.
My father will be watching. Let's not give them everything.
All right. Yeah. Translation, they must just see some of these things happening. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you. We were saying earlier, before we diverted back to the topic, we appreciate your comments so much. We love you so much. It's encouraging. The internet is a very bad place. It's full of negativity, but we've had so much love. We've had so much appreciation. And we want to tell you that we appreciate you too so very much. Subscribe if you're new. like the video,
Comment.
comment and speak to us. We will be talking about this on an ongoing basis. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing this because we are defending our children. We're defending our lives. We're defending our livelihood.
And our parents.
And our parents. We're fighting for our parents, you see. So we are taking whatever small area that we are allowed to walk. And thank you for joining us. If you watched the video up to so far, we love you.
Patient,
You're the
we
best.
love you.
You're one of a kind. Baby, we'll talk to you
Very
next
soon.
time.
Not next time, in 6 months, very soon, now that our electricity is back.
We love you so much, guys.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.